Hello everyone, this video is a guide on the beginning to end process of getting mods for Smash Ultimate on your Switch. Before we get started, you'll need a few things: an unpatched Switch, a micro SD card. I recommend 32GB or larger, but you can use one of practically any size as long as it has enough space for the mods you plan on downloading. A USB-C to USB-A cable, a controller charger or phone charger should work fine, a jig to boot in recovery mode, and you'll also need all the files linked in the description. You can find out whether or not your Switch is unpatched by using the website ismyswitchpatch.com, which is linked in the description. All you have to do is input the first 6 digits of your serial number along with the prefix to see whether your Switch is patched or not. You can find your serial number on the bottom of the console and to the left of the charging port. Let's say for instance that this is your serial number. You wouldn't put the XAW1 as the prefix, you would just put the 000567. If your Switch is unpatched, you can continue through the rest of this guide. Obviously, if your Switch is patched, there's nothing you can do with it currently. I would just buy an unpatched Switch off of eBay. But what if your Switch is possibly patched according to the website, which it will say for some of them? In my personal experience, I've attempted to mod 5 possibly patched Switches and only 1 was unpatched, so don't expect it to work, but there's a possibility. Next, to boot into recovery mode, you'll need a jig. This one on Amazon is $7 with Prime shipping. It doesn't really matter which one you get, they all work the same, but this is the one that I got. And the first of many files that's required is Tegra RCM GUI. It's what allows you to send a payload to your Switch, which in this case is Hekate. You can get the installer or portable, it doesn't really matter, but for the sake of this guide, I'm going to get the portable version. Now, here's the zip for Tegra RCM GUI. And you just want to extract it, or if you have the MSI you can install it. Let me look at this. And when you open it up, you'll be presented with this. You can remove all the favorites, but you would go into settings and you click install driver to install the driver for your Nintendo Switch. It's not found, so let's install it. Alright, so now what we can do is we can move on to the part with our Nintendo Switch. First, you want to make sure that your SD card is inside your Nintendo Switch. So go to the back and put the SD card in your Switch. Next, you want to plug it into your computer using the USB-C cable. Here's the one that I'm using. You plug it in. And then now, you want to take your jig and you insert it into the right Joy-Con rail all the way down. Your Switch may automatically power on. You want to make sure that you hold the power button and then power it off. So once the jig is inserted all the way down into the right Joy-Con rail, you want to hold volume up and press power on. And then you should see the program Tegra RCM GUI. It'll say RCM OK once you have booted the device into recovery mode. Next, you can go to Tools and make sure it says Mount MMC SD card, and then press the USB button. And now, Tegra RCM GUI will mount your SD card to your computer through your Switch, so you don't need an SD card reader. And now we can go ahead and download the rest of the files. Now, if earlier when you checked your serial code for your Switch and it said possibly patched, and you're not able to mount it to your computer using Tegra RCM GUI, then the unfortunate news is that your Switch is probably patched, if it didn't work. If your Switch, it said it wasn't patched and this is still not working, then it may be some sort of issue with your computer, but it should be working if your Switch is not patched. So if it isn't working, sad news is that your Switch is patched and you'll have to get another one if you want to mod your Switch. I'm going to quickly go through the rest of the files you're going to need to download here. The first of which is Hekate, just whatever the most recent version is. In this case, it's version 5.7. You want to get the first one, Hekate underscore ctcar.zip. You also want to get the latest version of Atmosphere. Again, just the zip, you don't need fuse.bin. You're also going to need Hekate underscore IPL.ini. If it doesn't immediately prompt to download, you can right click the page and click Save Page As. You're also going to need bootlogos.zip, which is also linked in the description, as well as Hekate IPL. You're going to need lockpick RCM. You're going to need FTPD, and you're going to need the .nro file. You also sys FTPD Lite. You also want to get jksv.nro, nx shell, appstore.nro. You also want to get Acropolis. A little quirk in the page right now is the most recent version is actually past the first one here, so it's actually this, which is version 3.0.0 beta 3.1. If you're watching this at a later date, the most recent version is probably whatever's at the top, but just for right now, it's right here. You also want to get the training mod pack. Skyline. Arcadia. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page here, just click on the most recent one, download. You also want to get FileZilla. We'll need it later. Alright, so now you should pull up your SD card and all the files that you've downloaded. Now, you just want to be sure, you can right click your SD card in the properties, make sure it's FAT32. If the file system is not FAT32, then you can back up whatever files you have on your computer briefly, and then you would click Format and format it so it's FAT32. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do, once you have all this open, is you want to get Hekate. So take the bin out of the Hekate zip and place it in the folder. You don't need that on your switch, but you do need the bootloader folder. Next, you want to open Atmosphere and drag this in also. Then bootlogos.zip, which you just drag into here, and you just hit yes to merge them. And then also Hekate IPL goes into the bootloader folder. And now you want to go into the folder switch, and you want to copy over all the various NRO files, except for appstore.nro. Because for appstore.nro, you want to actually make a new folder and call it appstore. And you put appstore.nro inside there. Back in the switch folder, you can also open Arcadia and put arcadia.nro in there as well. Also for lockpick RCM, you want to open bootloader and then payloads. And you can put lockpick rcm.bin in there. Now for Acropolis, you want to copy this over to the root folder and merge it. Same thing for the training mod pack, you just want to merge the Atmosphere folder. And now go inside of the Atmosphere folder and go to Contents and go to this This should be the only one in here, same name. And then you want to open Skyline and drag the XFs folder from Skyline into there, because you'll need that to run Acropolis and the training mod pack. And then I believe it's just one more thing, which is sysftpd lite. Now, before you actually put it in your switch here, you want to extract it, because you need to edit the config. You want to open this config.ini, and you need to add a username and password. Just do whatever you want to do. For now, I'll put user and pass, and I'll leave the port as 5000, but you can change it to whatever you want. And so then now you would drag this in as well to the root folder. And then you'll also need to make a new folder called Ultimate. And inside this folder, you want to make another folder called Mods. And inside Mods is where you'll put all the mods for Smash Ultimate that you have. Alright, so then now that we have all the files that we need on the Switch, we can delete everything in here except Hekate.bin. We're going to need the .bin file. And don't delete Tegra RCM GUI. If you want to download some mods now, you can. I would personally wait until after, but let me just sample downloading a mod. This is a mod that I made, Greenville Zone. It's a mod that aesthetically changes Smashville to look like Green Hill Zone. You would just download whatever mod it is that you want off of Game Banana. The Game Banana mod page for Smash Ultimate is linked in the description. And then once you have the mods here, or the mod files, you can just put in the mod folder. I would double check, make sure it's there should be it should like be folders that say like stage or fighter or UI. Those are the most common ones. But as long as it has that, you're fine, and you just want to drag the folder for the mod into your mods folder. So now that we have everything that we need on the Switch, or in the SD card, we can close out of everything and go back. So reopen this folder and open Tegra RCM GUI. So now you can turn off the Switch, reboot it into recovery mode with the same method as earlier. And once it's in RCM mode again, the payload that you want to use is this one, Hekate CTC AER. Now, once you inject the payload, you should see the following screen. This is what you should see if your console's unpatched. Now, I don't think the clock actually matters, but I'm going to go ahead and set it anyways. Current time is February 4th. 8:47. Alright. So once you're in Hekate, what you want to do is you want to go to Tools, up the top here, and you want to go to Backup eMMC. We're going to back up the internal storage of the Nintendo Switch, just in case something ever goes wrong with it. You probably will never need it, but it's just good to have it just in case something happens. So first you need to back up eMMC boot 0 and boot 1. I already have a backup, but you would just let it do the backup. So here, I'm going to continue with the backup actually, to continue. And then when it's done, you can press close. And then you want to back up eMMC raw GPP as well. This can take a long time. If your SD card is slow, it'll take longer. And this is why I say you want a card that has 32 gigabytes of space or more, because you want it to be able to do it all in one time. Because the internal storage of the Switch is 32 gigabytes. Now, if it says free space is smaller than the backup size, that's fine, but it'll just do it in 1 to 2 gigabyte parts, and at one point you'll have to go back to your SD card and take out like the backup parts and restart it again. So like again, 32 gigabytes is not necessary, but it's nice to have the convenience of getting it all done at once. You know, during what could be this like 10 minutes to like an hour. Maybe you could go through Game Banana and find some mods that you want and download them. I'm just gonna skip to when this is all done. Actually, I figured while you're waiting, you might as well install FileZilla as well. So just go to wherever you downloaded it, open FileZilla, installer, hit yes, agree. Any offers decline these, it's just gonna install like load on your computer. I already have FileZilla installed, so but yeah, you would just continue through until you install it. Alright, so if your SD card doesn't have enough space, you'll be prompted with this screen telling you to like remove your SD card and move the files back to your computer. So the way you would do this, at least I would, is you can click close, go to USB tools, USB mass storage, SD card. Then on your computer, you should now have the SD card mounted, and you want to go to backup, and you want to copy these. You just want to copy the whole thing, or rather cut, I suppose, since you want to, you know, free up the space, and just put it somewhere safe. For now, I'll just put it in the Switch homebrew folder that I've created, and this could take a bit. But if you know, if you have enough space to do it all in one go, then you don't need to go back. You know, this will be it. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Alright, so once the files are done transferring to your PC and you've removed them from the SD card, then you can you have to eject the USB, or the SD card rather, and make sure that you do not delete partial.idx, as it's necessary to resume where you left off. So you go ahead, go to the SD card, and you eject. And now you can go back to Hekate, and you click close, backup eMMC, raw GPP, and then it will resume where it left off. In this case, mine was at 89%, so I'm gonna skip to when it's done. Alright, so my backup finished, so now what you want to do is you want to click close, and exit out. You want to go home, payloads, and select lockpick RCM. And you need to get your console's unique keys. These keys are very important to have, and you need them to restore your backup. I can't get the camera to focus, but the first option should say dump from sysnand. And then you want to press the power button to select that option. It'll dump them pretty quickly. And you want to press the power button again, and use the volume keys to move up and down, and just select reboot to Hekate. And now you can, you know, go back to the tools, USB tools, and use the SD card again in your computer. and you just want to move the last of the backup stuff to your computer. Actually, it's better if you make a new folder, backup. This was something I created by accident, so I'm just going to delete that. Don't do that for yourself. And you just want to move these over. And now that that's done, there's one more thing we need to get, which is the keys. And it should be in the switch folder, and it should say prod.keys. And you just want to copy this to here. As a side note, these are the same keys that you have to have for Yuzu. So, you have those now if Yuzu is something you're interested in. Alright, now that we're done making our backup, we can go back to Hekate, but don't forget to eject the SD card. Alright, so now we can close this, go to home, launch, and you're going to want to launch the one in the middle. It says CFW, stands for System Custom Firmware. Click on it, and now you'll load up into Atmosphere. And now you can put your switch in your dock. Alright, so now, you start in your switch. You're now in custom firmware. You can open the homebrew menu one of two ways. You can either open the album, and this is in applet mode, so there's reduced amount of RAM that you're allowed to use. So if you're using a program like a homebrew application that uses a lot of RAM, then you would want to do it the other way, which is you hold R while booting into any game, like the right shoulder button, and you're in the homebrew menu. If you want to go back into the normal album, you just do the opposite. You hold right shoulder when booting into the album. So now that we're in the homebrew menu, it's time to explain some of these. Daybreak is automatically included with like the whole atmosphere thing, so I don't know the purpose of Daybreak. You're just gonna be honest. The Homebrew App Store is just a app store that contains all the different like homebrew programs, homebrew applications. NX Shell allows you to browse the files of your Switch, the SD card. Reboot to payload just reboots back to Hekate. JKSV allows you to back up and restore saves for your Switch. So let's say, you do something like, let's say you want to be safe and like back up your Smash save just in case something happens, so you can back it up, and so if something happens, you can restore it. Arcadia allows you to toggle mods for Smash Ultimate. So you launch Smash Ultimate for the first time, and Acropolis will generate the configuration file. The first time starting up takes a while, so I'm gonna fast forward. Alright, so as you can see, Smash Ultimate is booted up, and yeah. If you have Acropolis, you can see on the main menu, in the top right it says Acropolis version, whatever the version of Acropolis is that you have. Let's go back to the homebrew menu. So in Arcadia, you can enable and disable mods. This functionality was built into Acropolis until the recent beta, because they're sorting out some kinks with it. So in the meantime, use Arcadia, but once they have that back up and running, I'd recommend using the in-game toggler or mod manager. And you can also enable or disable like Skyline plugins, which are a bit more complex mods like code mods. And from this menu, you can also launch Smash Ultimate. Actually, while editing this video, I realized there was a mistake I made. It turns out in the most recent version of our crop list, they actually put the function back in the game to toggle mods. It's just in a different location. It's you would, on the main menu next to online, there's a Nintendo eShop button, and when you press that, it'll pull up a menu where you can toggle your mods off and on in game. So that's where you do it now. And the last thing, FTPD Pro, which is a FTP solution for the Switch. But we installed two of them. There was FTPD System Lite and FTPD Pro. Pro you have to boot up to use, whereas System FTPD is constantly active. So let's open the computer here. And let's say you wanted to access your Switch, access the SD card of your Switch and add files to it without having to take out the SD card or plug your Switch into your computer. We installed FileZilla earlier, so we would open FileZilla. Here it is. And as for the host, you would, on your Switch, press Y for the netloader, and it will tell you the IP address. So the IP address is 10. For me is 10.0.0.42. For username I put user, and for password I put pass. That's what I put in my thing. And the port, the default's 5000, but again, it's whatever you choose to put. Ignore what it says in the netloader for the port. And you click Quick Connect. Then you'll connect to your Switch, and you can drag and drop mods into your Switch without having to take out your SD card or plug it in your computer. If for whatever reason this doesn't work, or if you don't want to use System FTPD Lite, you can use FTPD Pro also. And this one you don't need to use a username and password for. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. The upside of the system one is that you can have Smash open and still be adding like mods as you're playing, and then you know, when you want to refresh the mods, you can like restart the game. But yeah, let's demo that actually. I'm gonna boot up Smash, and while it's doing that, I'll download a different mod, another mod I've created, sort of a joke mod, but this is Donkey Kong, like Among Us crewmate. And while Smash is like loading up and stuff, I can just go ahead and open it up. And just extract it. And I'll drag it. So Smash is started up now, and I can like go into Smash and do whatever I want. And I'll drag the files for the mod in there. And I'll open training mode, and I'll show off my mod along with the training mod pack. So yeah, the training mod pack has all sorts of neat features that I'm not going to go through the trouble of listing, but I'm sure you can see that there's you have hitbox visualization. You can restore and save states back and forth. It's something very useful for those who like to play the game competitively. You can also open the menu for it with the special up, and like you have all sorts of options. But now that the other mod is done transferring, I can show just how easy it is. Like, it did it while the game was open. And here we can show in Arcadia, you know, the folder for the mods in here. We can launch Smash Ultimate. And there you go. This is the full process. And now you can go ahead and go to Game Banana and get whatever mods you want and put them on your Smash. Also, a quick PSA, nothing in this process that we've done so far can get you banned online as it currently stands. So you're safe to do all of this. You're even safe to go online with mods. However, it depends on what kind of mods you go online with. You can only go online with mods that visually change the game or audibly change the game. You cannot go online with anything that changes gameplay, as it will cause a desync on quick play, and Nintendo will ban your console if a desync happens on quick play. But that will only happen if you have any mod that changes gameplay. So you should be good to go online with anything else. But don't forget to check the Smash Ultimate Modding Discord and the Nintendo Homebrew Discord for any additional questions or anything that I missed. And I'll have the link to them in the description.